everyone, so today I thought I would share some wisdom that I have learnt and researched about headaches and how to cure them. Every single headache has a story, but we're going to figure out how we can identify what kind of headache it is and what different methods we can use to help at least relieve them at the time. It is so difficult to stay present and to be in the moment and to enjoy time if you have a pounding headache. Now, sometimes we know where it comes from. It could be from the late night that we had staying up watching Netflix. It could be from the late night order of fries that we had last night, or the salty chips that we were digging into while we were watching a really good movie. But sometimes it can have absolutely no source and we have no idea where it's come from. Ayurvedic healers often refer to headaches as a wake-up call. It is a sign from our body that something is wrong and that we need to listen. And so I'm going to share some tips and tricks that I have learned on how to identify what the headache is, and hopefully the remedies that we can trial and test to see if they really help us. Now, like I said, there are many types of headaches, and often they can come and go and they don't really cause us many issues. But sometimes there are pains in our head or in our face that becomes recurrent and actually stops us from doing our day-to-day activities, or at least distracts us from them. And so for those ones, we need to pay attention and really find the root cause of them. So some common causes of headaches are things like constipation, having bad digestion leading to toxins building up in the body, or eating sweet or extremely spicy and salty foods. Emotions like stress or sadness or anger, eating lots of processed deep fried foods, or even being in environments that are extremely noisy, extremely stimulating and overbearing. So the way that I'm going to refer to the types of headaches are according to the doshas that Ayurveda categorizes our bodies into. Now, if you haven't heard of the doshas and you're not familiar with them, I actually have a video already on my YouTube that breaks them down and really helps you to understand them. I would recommend listening to that. It really will make a difference in how you understand your own body. So definitely check that out. But the first headache I'm going to talk about is a Vata headache. Now, Vata is the combination of air and ether. Vata headache can often feel like throbbing or pulsating in your head, almost like you have a band going across your head that keeps squeezing in and out. So some of the causes of these headaches are as follows. Neck and shoulder tension. Now, if you have a lot of tension in your neck and your shoulder, I recommend getting massages. Sometimes that pain radiates up to our head and causes this throbbing sensation. Mental and emotional stress. If we have a lot going on in our mind, if our mind feels overactive, what goes on in our body subtly and mentally can actually manifest externally too. And that's exactly what's happening. You have so much building up in your mind, and naturally that stress, that emotional stress, ends up making its way to the surface of your mind and of your head and of your brain, and ends up causing the muscles to tighten and constrict. An irregular sleep schedule. Now, if you don't have a routine and you're sleeping at different times in the day, you're waking up at different times in the day, you're getting random amounts of sleep, you don't have a sleep schedule, this can cause a Vata headache because your body doesn't have any regularity. It doesn't know what it's doing, when it's doing it, and almost leaves your body in a state of stress constantly. So that's known to be one of the main causes of these type of headaches. Unresolved fear or anxiety. So that links again to whatever's going on in our mind. I would really recommend, for any of the things that are linked to your mental state, try meditation. It doesn't have to be a particular type, but I would recommend trying all different types and seeing what works for you. What helps calm your mind? What helps focus your mind? I love doing guided meditations, and I actually have one for focus and clarity and for anxiety on my YouTube. But if you don't like guided meditations, sometimes just laying on the floor listening to music can be your meditation. So try different things out, whatever helps to slow your mind and focus your mind, and try doing that on a regular basis and being consistent with it. Another thing I would highly recommend for someone who has an active mind, especially if you get headaches, is a sensory deprivation tank. Now, I recently started doing this, and I cannot stress how much it has helped my mind reset and refocus for the rest of the week. I usually do it on a Saturday, and it's basically a space which you go into floating water. It sounds so weird, but you basically lay on floating water. I lay on water which has like magnesium and minerals in it, so it also helps absorb these minerals into your body. But at the same time, it's a tank which you close. You're enclosed within this tank, and everything is shut off. You don't hear anything except for silence. You can choose to have music in the tank, but or you can choose to have just complete silence, and it helps you just tune in. I almost go into this weird semi-meditative and sleep state whenever I'm doing it, and it just shuts your mind off. I wasn't sleeping because I was still aware, but I wasn't able, I was almost like not, I was accepting whatever state I was in, so I wasn't fighting it, but it definitely felt between meditation, and sleep. So one of the best daily rituals and treatments that's recommended in Ayurveda for any type of headache is nasya. That's basically when you lay down horizontal and you put oil into your nostril. With Vata headaches, you can use sesame oil, but essentially you just take about 5 milliliters, so you can pipette it, or if you have a little dropper, you lie down and you pour the oil into your nose. Now, doing this on a daily basis is said to really help clear out the nasal tract and all the vessels around your head, to help really dilate your blood vessels, which allows blood to flow back into your head and therefore oxygen into your brain too. And listen, if you have a Vata headache and it feels like a throbbing sensation and you feel like you just need to get into bed, do it. Lean into it. Take a rest, have a nap, and I guarantee you, if you are feeling like you need it, it's probably what's going to help really resolve this headache and hopefully take it away too. Next up, we have our Pitta headaches. Now, just as a reminder, Pitta is a mixture of the water and fire elements. A Pitta headache typically starts at the temple of your head and then spreads across to the center too. These can often be identified because they have shooting, burning sensation in your head, sometimes also accompanied by nausea, and often get worse by bright lights or having spicy foods or extra heat in the body. And for anybody who gets migraines, you can probably relate, because migraines usually stem from these Pitta headaches too. Now, these headaches are usually linked to the stomach and intestines. So what should we do if we get these headaches? Well, the first thing you need to do is avoid spicy foods. Anything that creates heat in the body is going to activate or aggravate these headaches. Opting for cooler foods or cooler spices, for example, increasing more cucumber in your diet, more aloe vera into your diet, having cooling spices like coriander, cumin, and fennel during your daily food. You can add it into your curries. You can try my CCF tea that I have on my website. It's incredible. It's a great tea to help cool down your body. Also, adding in something like rose in there would be really, really great for you. Next up, you could try massaging your feet and your scalp with coconut oil. Coconut oil is cooling, but also when you massage your feet and the top of your head, this is where our nerves end and begin. And so it really helps to loosen your body. It helps to relieve any tension throughout the body. Also, it just feels really, really nice. I already mentioned aloe vera, but I recommend taking about 2 tablespoons during the day and up to 3 times a day. It really helps to cool down your system and also just takes out a lot of the gunk in there too. If you are the type of person who gets these headaches, you might also be able to relate to being a very focus-minded person, someone who can get agitated quite frequently. So I would recommend also to take a chill pill. Try to slow down, calm your mind in your daily activities. See, if we slow down physically, our mental state also slows down. So try slow down your day. Take a slower pace in your day-to-day life, and hopefully that allows your body internally to also slow down. Next up, we have our beloved Kapha headache. Now, Kapha is a mixture of earth and water. These type of headaches usually come around during winter time. It's those sluggish headaches, the congestion headaches that you get right in the middle of your head here. It can be the type of headache that you usually wake up with or go to bed with. It's often accompanied by a cough or a runny nose or congestion. And it often gets worse by you lying down or bending down. You feel this kind of pressure at the front of your head. Kapha headaches are often referred to as sinus headaches because it's basically a buildup of pressure in the sinus, either from having coughs or colds, excess mucus, or even things like hay fever or any allergies. So in terms of remedies, we need to focus on how we can release the pressure, but also clear our sinuses. One of the rituals recommended for these type of headaches is called a neti pot. It's basically a pot that you pour water into, sometimes with some salts in there too, and you pour it up one nostril and it comes out the other. It helps to clear out your nasal tract and your sinuses too. Also, try drinking hot ginger tea during the day and including more pungent spices into your diet. Spices like cinnamon, black pepper, and cloves all help to reduce mucus and congestion in your body. Inhaling eucalyptus. Now, you can get eucalyptus essential oil, or you could even get fresh eucalyptus and put the leaves in there, or rub the leaves and put it into hot water. And inhaling eucalyptus also again helps to dilate your nasal passage, the arteries and the veins in there, and helps to open them up to allow more blood to circulate through to your lovely little brain. For this type of headache, and also all of them, but specifically for this one, avoid eating processed foods, hard cheeses, heavy cheeses, butter, yogurt, leftovers, and canned and packaged foods. All of these can be triggers for all 3 types of headaches. And all those foods have one thing in common. They are all difficult to digest. And as we have already talked about, the digestion is linked to our head. It's linked to the rest of our body, and it can impact the rest of our body. So if our digestion is suffering, we will get headaches, we'll get other body issues. So keeping our digestion clean and keeping our gut healthy is very important for any conditions in our body. So I wanted to share some remedies that help me with my headaches. I sometimes get a mixture of all three of these. And so I found some things are good remedies across all three of these. First off, I wanted to tell you about peppermint oil. It has been a saving grace for me. I use it every single day, whether I'm feeling cloudy in my head, whether I'm feeling a bit sluggish, whether it's a pulsating headache. I find peppermint oil has been a great solution for me. So I buy the roller ball, which is already diluted. I wouldn't recommend using the pure essential oil unless you're going to dilute it yourself with coconut oil. But you can buy roller balls that are already diluted, and you literally just roll it all across your head. Sometimes I'll put it in the crown of my head because sometimes I get a lot of heaviness from the crown down to my neck. I'll put it at the back of my neck here. And honestly, within, I'd say about 5-10 minutes, I feel a lightness come to my head. It really helps to open up all the little arteries and veins up there. It helps to dilate them to really help oxygen just burst in. That's my number one go-to whenever I have a headache. Next up is a head massage. Now you can do this yourself. Simply, if you're sitting and you're working, all you have to do is grab your fingers and massage from the crown of your head all the way down to the front. And also I would also target your neck because a lot of the tension comes from your neck too. Circular motions and always pressing out to the temples of your head. We have points here that actually are almost like little detox centers. Taking all the toxins to the side so that it can go through the lymphatic system and out of your body is very important. So always massaging away towards your temples when it comes to your head. And when it comes to the top of your head, I recommend just circular motions and really putting in a good amount of pressure. Your skull can handle a lot of pressure, and usually pressing down hard can really help to relieve the tension that is trapped up there. Oh, the other thing that I do, again, it's kind of like a little massage for your face, but when it comes to those congestion headaches, pressing down at the top of your nose, I find that helps, and then also tracing it all the way down underneath your eyes, all the way back up to your temples. And I actually put a solid amount of pressure when I do this, and it just helps to clear all the congestion going around your eyes like this. And you can use your middle fingers, you can use whatever feels comfortable, but pressing down really hard from the tip of your nose all the way around to your temples. This really helps to clear out any congestion that is stuck there. And you get yourself a little face massage as well. The next thing I want to share is acupressure points. Basically, acupressure points are points in your body that actually link to other parts of your body and can help to relieve a lot of tension in those specific spots. So I'm going to take you through some acupressure points that you could try to help relieve your headache. The first one is on your hand. Now it's between your index finger and your thumb. It's pretty much right here. And I don't know about you, but every time I press on this point, I get a really sharp pain. Like, it is painful to press down on here. This links to your head, but it also links to your digestion. And so pressing down on here for a significant amount of time, I would say if you have 5 minutes to spare, I sometimes just sit while I'm reading something or while I'm doing something that I don't need my hands for, I will press down on all these different points in my hand. But the main one is here, right between your index finger and your thumb. Pressing down on that can often, you would be surprised to know how much there is linking from your hand all the way up to your neck, all the way up to your head. So you can just press down and do small circles around. Guiding your breath through your body is also so important. So make sure you're taking deep breaths while you're pressing down on these pressure points. You'll know when to kind of stop when you feel that the pain is reducing as you're doing it. And if it doesn't, just cap yourself at about 5 minutes. The next one is between your eyes. So the sinus, the tip of your nose, as I spoke about before. Pressing down on there, there's a pressure point here as well. 15 to 30 seconds, and then releasing and breathing. And again, pressing down again for another 15 to 30 seconds, and then releasing. You can also massage down the pressure point. I find that really helps kind of just get in there. Next up is your neck. So at the back of your neck, basically just at the tip of your spine, which is just at the bottom of your neck, pressing down between either side. So your spine will be down the middle. Grab your index finger on one side, your thumb on the other, and press down here. Pinch for 15 to 30 seconds, breathe into it. Just keep doing that for as long as you want to, for about 5 minutes. So this one's a really good one. It's actually on your shoulder. Use your thumb and your middle finger to pinch on the muscle. You'll eventually find like the sore point that's there, and just pinch down on that, breathe into it and release, and try again for 15 to 30 seconds. Do not use that pressure point while you are pregnant. It can induce labor. And the last one is just at the back of your jaw, underneath your ear. Oh, this hurts so much. Press down right underneath your ear where your jawbone basically ends. And if you're anything like me, this one can actually be quite sore. So be quite gentle with yourself here. And again, press down for 15 to 30 seconds. You don't have to press too hard. Release, and make sure you breathe into it. Try going through all of these pressure points at one time if you can, if you have a little bit of time to spare. When you have a headache, there's not much else you can usually do if it's quite a bad one. So try and go through all these pressure points and relieve tension in all of these areas, and I really hope that helps. So I really hope some of these tips help your headache. I know it can be so difficult trying to get through your day with any kind of headache. So I hope these tips help, and if they do, I'd love to hear. Leave me a comment below or send me a message. I'd love to know if you try them out, or if you have any other tips that other people could find useful. If you do have persistent headaches that are really bad and migraines that you find you just can't get rid of, definitely go and see a doctor or see an Ayurvedic consultant, because it could be a sign that there may be another underlying problem that you need to resolve. Sending you all so much love. I really hope this was useful. See you next week. If you like this video, or even if you didn't like it at all, you watched it, so like it. And leave a comment so I know who you are and where you're from, and what you didn't like or what you did like about it. Thanks, see you next time.